If you have cell phones, we appreciate you put them on vibrate. I always need to check my own because that's the ultimate embarrassment when mine starts ringing when it shouldn't. And there you go. And thank you for coming. My name's Louis Self. I'm going to tell you a little bit about tonight's committee. If you want to turn around, you won't have to twist your neck so much. Or you can sit there by the pretty young lady. Anyway, tonight's comedian is on a 4-month road tour, left the middle of April, and spent the month of June on the East Coast doing comedy and some kiteboarding. You may hear more about that later. And he's a retired school teacher, and he has done a little over 880 comedy appearances there. I've been doing it for about 5.5 years. And I would like you to put your hands together for America's favorite old man, Arizona Lou. Hi, I'm Arizona Lou. Thanks for coming. It's really cool to be part of this auspicious occasion and help contribute a little bit to the USS Billings. And I want to thank you for coming. And I'm going to thank you for letting an old guy up here. You ask, how old?
How old are you?
Sir, you hardly said anything. You're busy looking at your phone. Glad you asked. 77. In comedy, we call that a sympathy applause. Can anybody beat that, 77? Well, respect your elders then. I don't know, it's hard to do comedy after that oxygen. I think they had a comedian doing the oxygen. That was cool. I'm so old, I was born in MCMXLI. See, you know that's Roman numerals. I always have to explain it to people from New Jersey.
They're trying to pronounce it.
Yeah, right. When I was a kid, that's all we had. Not New Jersey, the Roman numerals. And every time I'd dial a number, I'd get Roman charges. Back then we had a whole different meaning for XXX.
30.
Some of you need to watch more Sesame Street. Because that meant that you were over the hill. Tomorrow night's show, I'll be doing a show. It's on my website. My website's arizonalou.com, and the show's going to be at the Plaza Arcade Bar and Grill. It's for the VFW Post 12181. If you don't know where it is, just down the street from here. And there's information. I've got some information here. Also, I've got these. If you want me to put you on my email list, I can do that. So I usually pass these out, but since I didn't get them passed out, and I'll put your major city there like Billings, so I won't send you emails when I'm going to be in New Jersey. Yep. I just hope I remember what I'm going to say tonight. If you're lucky, I will. Or if you're unlucky, I will. You're such a great group, I want you to come and spice up my funeral. Too late, it was last week. Hey, I'm dying. No, what's so funny about that? He's happy that I'm dying. Sound like my ex. Well, you're dying too, hopefully after I do. I had a troublesome childhood. I was a middle child. Let's hear it by applause if anybody here was a middle child. Well, then you understand what I was the second of 3 boys, and my older brother Stanley lived in Hutchinson, Kansas. Yeah, last year we lost him. Never did find him. Or Toto. Now, I need to explain to you young people, that's an old movie with a little dog in it. I guess Stanley forgot to click his heels together. There's no place like home. Well, he was into supplements. And now he has the healthiest prostate of anybody in the Greenwood Cemetery. He was into real estate. Well, if you count one duplex where it was still standing because the left half was leaning against the right half. He let Billy stay there for free in exchange for fixing up the place. Now, you know how that went. Billy moved in with a carload of cockroaches. Actually, it's disgusting, but it's not true either. It's worse. He moved in with his girlfriend, Dawn. At least I think that's what was under all those wrinkles. They were covered with tattoos. And no wonder she was so wrinkled. She was a chain smoker. Let's hear it by applause if anybody smoked any chains. Well, she did have a winning smile, if you count 3 teeth. But that was good news. It made a good cigarette holder. She could puff her way right through a Kansas tornado. She moved in 2 dogs. They bark like they're going to bite my head off. Oh yes, tomorrow night's show will involve some adult concepts. This show is going to be family friendly. I don't know why, but because we said it was. The little one she called Sledge, which is short for sledgehammer. The big one she called Maggie, which is short for 357 Magnum. Dawn's pride and joy was not her giant screen TV. It was the long extension cord she had plugged into the neighbors with. She was fancy, though. She had a curved shower rod on the outside of the house because nothing worked inside. So her daughter could take a shower with a garden hose. I learned a lot about white trash. Like I have a lot of room to talk. If you've seen my minivan out there, I started with the red wire hanging out from under the hood, white trash way. But I don't want you to believe what you hear about the old guy in a minivan.
What did we hear?
Because I don't have candy. And I haven't lost a puppy. But, holding on is, my mom used to say, hey, Louis, hold your horses. But let's hear it by applause if you're a grandparent. Any grandparents here? Well, this is the way I held my first grandchild. All it took was 10 seconds for me to understand crazy grandparents. Let's hear it by applause if you're a crazy grandparent. They're also honest. But there's other ways to hold babies. This one leaks. Or, here, mommy, stinky baby. I went to the grocery store and I didn't park close so I could stir up my tired blood as I ran in for a few things. Running back to my car, kids said, hey, how come you're running so fast? Well, you would be too, son, if you'd been shoplifting. Yep, I don't have my water up here. Well, anyhow, I'll do without. Anyway, I went to the gym, and recognized the equipment from when I was a kid during the Spanish Inquisition. You see, we got historians over. They know that was 650 years ago. I'll tell you more about that tomorrow night, but that gets into some stuff. But I am getting older, and like I said, I'm dying. And you got to prepare for that. Stanley didn't and left us with a real mess. And don't leave your, oh, thank you. Don't leave.
Wherever you want it. I don't want to spill it on your phone.
With a real mess. So you know you're dying, so plan ahead. To be healthy, I am now participating in a study sponsored by Stanford University of posture. Yeah. And at the Egoscue Clinic in Phoenix. Now, Egoscue, doesn't that sound like someone invented a new superhero? Hey, I'm Egoscue! My special power is posture. Well, Carson there got down and examined my pelvis, and said, there's my pelvis too, but I don't know. And said, Lou, your right hip is lower than your left hip. Well, I can take care of that.
Yeah.
Oh, and Lou, your right butt cheek doesn't stick out as far as your left butt cheek. No problem. Oh, and Lou, you don't have the right curve in your spine. I can take care of everything. What's wrong with that guy? I don't know, but he sure has good posture. Hey, thank you. That's the first time that one's gotten an applause, so you people are special.
We got good posture.
Of course, you already know that. Well, when we like to sugarcoat death. For example, you say he's gone to greener pastures. Well, I'm not a cow. He's gone to be with the Lord. My family's pretty sure I'm not in that category. Especially after some of my comedy jokes. Or pushing daisies. I'm going to be pushing dandelions. And weeds. Notice that was plural. 72 virgins. Yeah, that was a dumber. And have you also noticed that we like to sugarcoat on the way to death? For example, it used to be, now some of you are old enough to remember when we used to send grandma to the old folks' home. Oh, that's terrible because we might make people feel old. Well, I am old, and I've worked 77 years on all these splotches and wrinkles, and I'm proud of them. They represent wisdom and I don't know what else, but I'm proud of them. In today's society, though, they want you to not be proud of them. They want you to spend more money. Well, after a while, they decided, let's call it the senior center. So they sent people to the senior center. Now, your grandchildren will be sending grandma to the older toddler center. She'll toddle in, she'll toddle back out. That's after the senior center. They decided that might offend some people, make them feel old, so now they have the Dare County Older Adult Center. I'm sold, when I was a kid, we sent Grandma to the corner of the cave. I met a guy in the produce department. I picked some bananas out. Up comes old Oscar. Now, I don't know if that was really his name, but he really was a grouch. I said, hey, I hope you find some good bananas, but you can't have these, they're mine. Don't want them. Do you like stand-up comedy? No. Do you like to laugh? No. And I think his name was Oscar. Some of you need to watch more Sesame Street. He's the old...
Grouch.
He was the green guy in the trash can. He was behind me in the checkout lane, and when I left, he said, "Good riddance." Well, anybody here collect and save boxes? Let's hear by applause if you save boxes.
Sad to say it.
I have cigar boxes. Cigar boxes, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Cardboard, thank you.
Now, what's your position with the city?
I'm the mayor.
The mayor. I need to explain something to you and your wife. I asked for an applause. This doesn't cut it.
So sorry.
And when you get back to City Hall, explain to everybody from City Hall that an applause makes noise and takes two hands. And thank you for being here. All right. What question did I ask now?
Boxes.
Boxes, yes. Those of you who don't save boxes don't read instructions. They always say, save this box. So back home in Phoenix, I've got boxes for printer, scanner, mother-in-law. I'm getting so many boxes that my house is getting full. I may have to move out into a box, which is going to be difficult with a mother-in-law.
You get boxed up.
Yeah. Send her out in a box. That's not true. She's dead. Some groups really laugh at that one. I can't figure out why. But we're all dying. So like we say, we have to plan we're going to die. And I plan to leave this world going as fast as I can.
One step at a time.
Having fun. I want my obituary to read something like, Arizona Lou died in an avalanche of boxes. Yeah, or doing a conference. Or I went to the Outer Banks. Let's hear by applause if you know where the Outer Banks is.
North Carolina.
Okay. Yeah. Well, those of you who don't know where it is, how many have heard of Hatteras Island?
No.
I didn't ask for an applause that time, so you were right.
Parasite.
Let's hear it by applause. How many have heard of Kitty Hawk? We're getting more. How many have heard of the Wright brothers? Getting more. How many, by applause, have heard of airplanes? Well, they're all located together off the coast of North Carolina with some of the best kiteboarding conditions in the world. All we want is wind. Now, kiteboarding is where you're on a wakeboard or a surfboard and you have a huge kite up in the air pulling you on the water. It's awesome. Well, when there wasn't enough wind to kiteboard, I was with my friend Tim doing SUP. That's S-U-P, stand-up paddleboarding. As opposed to what I do up here, suck. S-U-C, stand-up comedy.
Bada bing boom.
I was barely able to balance on my board while Tim was on his doing yoga for the flexibility. Let's hear it by applause. How many have taken yoga? You guys are fun. And your name? Kathy? Kathy, namaste. Now see, Kathy understands. Let me explain for the rest of you people. That's yoga speak for howdy, partner. They say that in Wyoming too, don't they? And Heather, our instructor, said, just relax. Well, she had us holding the 2x4. Now, you yoga types call that the plank position. That's like me telling you to relax when you got one foot at the dock and the other at the boat. I go down further, but I hurt myself. And I don't have one of those red buttons where I can't get up. Well, the hardest for me was the doggy style. Oh, now, you yoga types call that the downward facing dog. Because you haven't yet invented the Gangnam style. I had a determined methane bubble that desperately wanted to reach the atmosphere. Now, the yoga types call that a fart. With concerted effort, I was able to hold it. Not the doggy style, though. Heather came around after the class, and we were laying down on the floor, massaging my head with some smelly stuff. I just hope she didn't mess up my hair. That was a joke. Because this hair is a joke. I have what I call the National Geographic hairstyle. I've got 3 peninsulas here. And the center peninsula is losing ground, so it's becoming an island with grass at the front. Well, what should be growing out here is growing out my ears. Well, at least it keeps the bugs out. Ah! My ex says, look, it keeps the bugs in with all the craziness. People wonder how also connect with yoga. I wasn't the only one with a pesky methane bubble. Someone let one escape. It was one of those extended duration and minimum displacement, maximum altitude expulsions. Now, you know what that was, long, loud. I started to laugh until realized I was the only one. That's where I learned in yoga you gotta know when to hold them. Yep, that's kind of my yoga experience. People wonder how I got started in doing comedy. I've been doing it for about 5.5 years. Well, I read a book, took a class, and for material, got a divorce. What more do you need? Yep. A little bit more about myself. I live in Phoenix, and I was confused with another Lou on one of my trips. It was an embarrassing situation, and they said, well, since you're the only guy from Arizona, we'll call you Arizona Lou. And before 1912, when Arizona became a state, I went by Territory Lou. And before that, Caveman Lou. These keep coming. And they get worse. Before that, ditch loo. Hey, it was just a little ditch. And then it grew and grew. Then Grand Canyon loo. And before that, Jurassic loo. I had voice surgery, and I'll tell you more about that after I remind you tomorrow. I'll put some slips up here with the information. Also, it's on my website. Oh, and if you Google America's favorite old man, I'll be number 1. That's true. And you might be number 2. You don't know until you check. Click on the location, maps will pop up and show you how to get there if you don't know, but you already do. And I had voice surgery, and sometimes my voice goes up high, and it's embarrassing on the telephone. Oh yes, tomorrow's show will be a full-length show and delve into some adult concepts, so it'll be a lot of fun. This is just kind of a sample show. On the telephone, it's embarrassing. Can you imagine doing comedy, this squeaky little voice? I sound worse than Jay Leno. I'll say, hello, may I please speak to the man of the house? I am the man. Or worse yet, hello, are your parents home? Yes, they're up on the mantle. They told me in life to earn everything. Hey, you people are fantastic. I'm Arizona Lou. Thank you very much.
I thought you'd need this. Lou, I thought you'd need this, but I guess not.
I guess not.
All right.
Hey, thanks for coming. You want one of these?
Great, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Well, I have you put the city on here, like Billings, so I won't send you emails when I'm going to be in New Jersey.
Okay.